I'm Matt Glass. I help people retire with clarity, not confusion. And today I'm going to show you why traditional retirement planning breaks down at the exact moment you need it most. Here's something nobody tells you about retirement. The plan that got you here probably won't get you through. You did everything right. You maxed out the 401k, you sat through the meetings with HR, you watched the balance grow for 30 years, and now you're approaching retirement thinking you're set. But here's the problem. The rules are about to change. And if you don't change with them, everything you built can start working against you. I'm Matt Glass. I help people retire with clarity, not confusion. And today I'm going to show you why traditional retirement planning breaks down at the exact moment you need it most. Put money in, watch it grow, stay the course. Don't panic. Let compound interest do its thing. That's good advice for building wealth. But retirement isn't about building anymore. It's about using. It's about turning what we've saved into income that lasts for the rest of our life. And that's a completely different game. Think about it like this. You spent 30 or 40 years learning how to climb a mountain. You studied it, you trained for it, you got good at it. But now you're at the top and nobody taught you how to get down. Climbing up and climbing down require different skills, different strategies, different thinking. Retirement is the same way. Most people retire with a pile of money and no real plan for how to use it. They've got a 401k, maybe an IRA, some savings, a pension if they're lucky, Social Security coming at some point. But when I ask them, how are you going to turn that into a paycheck every month for the next 30 years, they don't have an answer. And that's not their fault. Nobody taught them. Their advisor talked about returns, talked about diversification, talked about risk tolerance questionnaires, but nobody talked about distribution. Nobody said, here's how you're actually going to live off this money without running out. So what do most people do? They guess. They pull from whatever account feels right. They react to the market. They take Social Security early because they're nervous. They make emotional decisions in the first 5 years that cost them for the next 25. And slowly, quietly, the plan starts to break down. Let me show you why this happens. When you're working and saving, a market crash is annoying, but it's not a crisis. You're not touching the money anyways. You've got time to recover. Your paycheck still shows up. But in retirement, you are the paycheck. And if the market drops 20% and you're pulling income from that same account, you're locking in losses. You're selling low. You're draining the tank faster than it can refill. This is called sequence of returns risk. It's one of the biggest threats to your retirement that nobody talks about. It's not about the market and what it does on average. It's about what it does in the first 10 years after you retire. Get a bad sequence early, doesn't matter what happens later, the damage is done. And here's the kicker, you can't control the market. You can't control when the next market crash comes. You can't time it, but you can control how your money is structured. That's where most plans fail. They're not structured for distribution. They're set up like you're 45 years old and have decades to recover. You don't. What needs to change? 3 things. First, your mindset. You have to stop thinking like an accumulator and start thinking like a distributor. That means asking, how do I get the best return? But how do I create income I can count on? Not, how do I grow this faster? But how do I make sure I don't run out? Not, what's the market doing? But what's my plan doing? Second, your strategy. You need a plan that's designed for retirement, not a plan that was designed for building wealth and then loosely adapted. That means separating your money by purpose and time horizon. Knowing which dollars are for now, which are for later, and which are for creating income in between. And third, your structure. This is the big one. Most people have one big pot of money that's supposed to do everything: grow, provide income, handle emergencies, cover healthcare, leave a legacy. That's too many jobs for one bucket. When you structure your retirement into clearly defined segments, each with a specific role, you stop guessing, you stop reacting, you start operating. That's what I teach my clients. I call it the glass path, not because it's fragile, but because it's clear. And you can see through it. You can see every step before you take it. No confusion, no wondering if you're doing the right thing, just a simple structure that tells you what your money is for, when to use it, and how it all fits together. We break retirement down into 3 buckets. One for right now, liquidity, emergencies, peace of mind. One for soon, income for the critical first decade of retirement. And then one for later, long-term growth, legacy, the stuff that compounds while you're living your life. Each bucket has a job. And when each one is funded correctly and positioned the right way, retirement doesn't feel like guessing anymore. It feels like freedom. In the next video, I'm going to break down each bucket in detail, what goes in them, why they matter, and why most people build them in the wrong order. And if this video helped you see retirement a little bit differently, share it with someone who needs to hear it. A friend, a family member, someone you know who's getting close to retirement and maybe feeling a little bit lost. Sometimes the right information at the right time can change everything. And if you're watching this thinking, hey, I want to see what this looks like for my situation, there's a link in the description below to schedule a conversation with me. No pressure, no pitch, just a chance to see your retirement through a clearer lens. I'm Matt Glass. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.